Yeah, but when from 10 years old, well, see, I moved in the old school neighborhood at 5 years old, actually at 4 years old. So when I moved into the old neighborhood as a little boy, my buddies were already living in the neighborhood, and they were slightly older than me, and I started running with them at 6 and 7. We were able to go out and start hanging out, in the streets and stuff, and they were tough guys. I watched them do a lot of street fighting. I watched them stand up to a lot of bullies, and so I didn't realize I was being groomed by them, because the compliment that I got from one of them last year, he moved to Ohio and been out there for about like 30, 35 years, and we were talking. He said, man, when you moved to Jackson Ward, he said, man, couldn't nobody beat you. I said, you remember that? He said, yeah, man. He said, man, you could wrestle your ass off, He said, you were a tough guy. I said, man, that's a compliment. I said, because y'all guys, when I was a little boy, were the ones that I learned from, Because I always thought that y'all were tough. Y'all didn't take no stuff. Y'all wasn't afraid to fight anybody. He said, but man, when we started coming into Jackson Ward to see you, they said, man, you was tough down that playground, I said, well, I'm glad that you passed the compliment on, because I really got it from y'all, So anyway, I think that was basically, yeah, but yeah, as a little boy, yeah, we were very mischievous. Oh, we did stuff, man. We stole, we'd go to the grocery. Man, let me tell you, man, we would go to church on Sundays, have our little suits on, and this was when I was like 12, 13 years old, and I had just moved into Jackson Ward. We would go from church, and we would walk down through Standards. We used to use Standards drugstore at a tunnel. We go in through the Marshall Street side and come out the Broad Street side. Man, we walking the little girls in the neighborhood. We would always go down to the Capitol on Sundays as something to do. And we would come out of Standards with candy, Hershey's, all kinds of candy, where we would go and steal them. We would stick them up our sleeves to our suits and stuff, put them in our pockets, inside jacket pockets, and we would be eating candy, and the little girls would say, oh, y'all better stop that stealing in Standards. But we would hand them candy, and everybody was eating candy up and down the street, So that was our thing that we would do. And one time we went in Standards with this guy we called Country, and we were going to try to steal the candy and conceal it. He grabbed a box of chocolates and just ran. And we had to run behind him. And the store clerks, they came after us. Now, I'm telling you, now we had a little hustle. Me and my buddies, before I moved into Jackson Ward, me and my little buddies would go up Chamberlain. And I was like 10, 11 years old. We would go up Chamberlain Avenue, and they had the RC Cola plant up there. And one of us would climb the fence and go inside and get the sodas off of the soda trucks and slide the crates up under the fence, and then we would take the sodas and go sell them to the bootleggers. Because they needed sodas, because people would order drinks and stuff, and they needed sodas for chasers and stuff, and mix the drinks. And that was one of our hustles, and we would sell the sodas to the bootleggers in the neighborhood, and then we would have free sodas that we would hide in the alley and give them to some of our other little buddies, So yeah, we had a lot of hustles, man, but the legal hustles that we did, we would, back in those days, we would sell bottles, soda bottles, and you get a nickel a bottle. 3 cents a bottle, but sometimes you get a nickel a bottle, where you can get a candy bar for a nickel. So we would go and hustle bottles, then the rag place was right down on Old Brook Road, and we would hustle rags and paper from the neighborhoods. And we would sell paper and rags. Then I had a paper route. So we made money. We made money. Now, one of the biggest things we did in the summertime, and I was talking to a lady recently, right outside of Jackson Ward up on Marshall Street. If you go up there now, they turned it into an apartment complex, and there's a big milk bottle right up there on Marshall Street. Well, that used to be the dairy. And we used to go up there in the summertime and wait for the people to discard the ice cream and stuff. There was nothing wrong with the ice cream except for it didn't come out on the ice cream stick straight, or the ice cream sandwiches weren't straight. So they would discard it. They would throw it in the ice cream truck, in this big dump truck. and we would climb in that dump truck and eat ice cream to our field. And the guys, the girls, I was talking to a lady the other day, she said, you remember the old neighborhood when we used to go to that and get that ice cream? I said, you remember that? She said, yeah, we used to climb in that truck, in that dump truck, and get those fudge-sickles and ice cream sandwiches and stuff, you know, and popsicles. And she said, we got to the point that we used to do that. It was so free, you know, it was so easy to get. We didn't even go up there every day that you would think, you know, free ice cream for kids. We would be playing in the neighborhood. Somebody said, come on, man, let's go up there and get some ice cream. I said, yeah, okay. So we had places, we had hustles that we did. We had places that we could go. We had one swimming pool in the neighborhood because of segregation. That was Brook Pool. And we used to, with the little money that we made, we would go, it cost a dime to get in. And we would go to Brook Pool and, you know, swim all day and, you know, and then come back. We stopped through the alley sometimes where we had hid our sodas and our little hustles that we made, you know, and get a soda and, you know. So we had, you know, we had stuff we do. We had a bakery. See, everything in this close-knit community, we had everything in that old school community. We had a bakery right across from the barbershops on Old Brook Road. And I went in the bakery one day, and it was like a thrift bakery, Bond's Thrift Bakery. And I went in, and they had a box of chocolate donuts. And I said, how much are these donuts? And they had a price of a nickel on it. And she said, a nickel? I said, a whole box of donuts, 12 donuts for a nickel. She said, yeah, I bought those donuts. And when I came out, I said, I can't take these donuts home because my mama not gonna let me eat as many as I want. And she gonna make me share with my brothers and sisters. I was about maybe 8, 9 years old. And then I saw my buddies playing in the street. I don't know what came over me, man, but I just did not feel like sharing that day. I sit down there on the stoop and ate a whole box of chocolate donuts. Me and my dog, Bingo. I'd give him a donut, I'd eat 2, give him another one, I'd eat 2 more. Ate that whole box of donuts. I went home, I was sick as a dog, you know. But that was probably the greatest bargain I've ever had. You imagine as a little child, 7, 8 years old, you could buy a box of chocolate donuts for a nickel?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't jump on that? You know what I mean? So,
I would.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the old neighborhood, it was, you know, it was a close-knit neighborhood, and we knew who to avoid. We had pedophiles in the neighborhood. We knew, you know, not to go. And some of the older people said, don't y'all go in that block right there and go to Mr. So-and-so's house. Don't go in his house because, you know, but we didn't know, we didn't use the word pedophile. We say he's a child molester, you know, and they would warn us not to go to certain houses. And, you know, the elders in the neighborhood would look out for us, you know. They would really look out for us. And it was just a close-knit neighborhood. And the beauty of it was when I moved out of the old school neighborhood, close-knit neighborhood, and moved into Jackson Ward, a more larger neighborhood, the elders were the exact same way. And see, because of segregation back in those days, you had everything in that one community. You had everything that you wanted was in that community because everything was segregated. So everybody lived together. School teachers over here, business owners over there, people on welfare over here, people need to be on the welfare over there. You know, you had just everybody in the same neighborhood, and then you had a store on every corner. You had a drugstore and a grocery store on every corner. You know, so we would go and do our little hustles. Sometimes, you know, you go to the store for people, and they would give you, you know, a nickel for going to the store for them, or you would bring the groceries back for them, you know, and they would give you, you know, some money for doing that. And different little things that we did. We had hustles, you know. Then if you wanted to work at the paper, the paper company right up the street. I lived in the 500 block where the paper company was in the 400 block. So if you wanted to get a paper route, you just walk up there and get a paper route, you know. Some guys would, when I got older, some guys would get a paper route just so when Friday come they could collect the money and they'd never go back. But you know, I wasn't raised like that, you know. But I took it as a job, you know, because I used my money to help raise my dog. I told you about, you know, that I had. So anyway, but those, you know.
So